Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much.
Have you ever noticed how most people want their lives to change, yet resist changing themselves? They dream of wealth, but refuse to become more valuable. They crave success, but avoid discipline. Why is that? Because true growth demands more than wishes. It demands transformation. I once spoke with a young man who said, "Mr. Rohn, I wish I had your success." I replied, "You can, but only if you do what I did." He asked me what that was, and I answered, "Everything. Everything I did to get here." The room fell silent. It was a moment of truth. Everyone wants the harvest, but few are willing to plant the seeds. This is where the idea of forcing yourself to work hard comes in. Force implies resistance, pushing against what pushes back, and that's exactly what growth feels like. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But it's not easy, it's necessary. Over the years, I've learned principles about work ethic that not only shaped my own journey, but transformed the lives of many I've mentored. These aren't complicated formulas. They are simple truths that, applied consistently, deliver extraordinary results. So what is work really? Work is not just collecting a paycheck. Work is value creation, turning your time, talents, and energy into something meaningful. The quality of your work defines the quality of your life. I've always said, you don't get paid for the hour, you get paid for the value you bring to the hour. That's why some earn a fortune in an hour, while others barely earn enough to get by. The difference isn't time, it's value. And yet, many people complain about their paycheck while giving far less than their best. They arrive late, leave early, and do just enough to keep their jobs. Then they wonder why opportunity never shows up. The truth is, opportunity doesn't knock. It lingers around achievement. That's a lesson I learned very early in life. I learned from my mentor, Mr. Schoaf, that success is something you attract, not something you chase. And you attract it by becoming a person of value. The marketplace rewards value, and it pays generously for exceptional value. There's an important distinction here. Making a living is not the same as designing a life. Making a living is simply trading time for money. Designing a life means investing in yourself so your value grows over time. One gives you a paycheck, the other builds a fortune. Now let's talk about discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. You can have all the dreams and aspirations in the world, but without discipline they remain fantasies. Discipline means doing what must be done even when you don't feel like it. Most people wait until they feel motivated before they act. But here's the truth. Action comes first, motivation follows. When I began my career, I wasn't naturally disciplined. I had to force myself to wake up early, make extra calls, and study while others relaxed. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Over time, what began as force became habit, and habit shaped my character. We all face two pains in life, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. Which would you choose? The beauty of discipline is that it compounds. Small, consistent actions repeated day after day create extraordinary results. Results take time. Think of the bamboo tree. You water and nurture it for 5 years, yet see nothing. Then, in the 5th year, it shoots up 90 feet in just 6 weeks. Was it those 6 weeks of growth or the 5 years of foundation that mattered most? The answer is clear. Now, let's talk about difficulty. Most people avoid it, chasing the path of least resistance. But here's the truth. The hardest tasks often bring the greatest rewards. Difficulty isn't a signal to retreat. It's an invitation to grow. When you push through challenges, you build strength. When you solve complex problems, you sharpen intelligence. When you endure tough relationships, you gain emotional wisdom. Every successful person I've known has faced major obstacles, and their success was in direct proportion to the problems they were willing to overcome. When I began, I faced rejection after rejection. Doors slammed in my face. People told me I'd never amount to much, but I chose to believe my future was worth more than my feelings. Temporary discomfort was a small price for lasting success. The marketplace doesn't reward comfort, it rewards value. And value often comes through discomfort, through risk, through doing what others refuse to do. Now let's discuss consistency, the true power behind achievement. Success is not built on what you do once, but on what you do every single day. I often tell the story of two farmers. Both prayed for rain, but only one prepared his fields. Which one would you bet on? Preparation without action is useless, and action without consistency goes nowhere. Results don't appear overnight. You can't go to the gym once and expect fitness, read one book and expect wisdom, or make one sales call and expect a fortune. Success is built on steady, repeated effort. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Progressive means it happens over time, step by step, day by day. Many underestimate the impact of small, consistent actions. They ask, what difference does reading 10 pages make? Well, 10 pages a day becomes 300 pages a month. That's several books a year. And in 5 years, you've read more than most people will in a lifetime. Or think about saving just $100 a month. In 20 years, with modest interest, you'd have tens of thousands of dollars. Small amounts invested consistently over time create fortunes. One of the most important lessons I've learned is that success follows personal growth. Your income rarely exceeds your level of development. If you want more, you must become more. That's why I've always promoted reading, attending seminars, and finding mentors. These aren't expenses, they're investments in your greatest asset, yourself. I've seen people transform their lives through this philosophy. Those once struggling financially now run successful businesses. The shy and insecure now command rooms with confidence. The unhealthy and overweight now radiate vitality. What changed? They changed. They invested in themselves and forced themselves to work hard on the greatest project of all, their own potential. The greatest gift you can give the world is your own development. As you grow, your capacity to contribute expands. And as your contribution grows, so do your rewards. It's a powerful cycle of creating and receiving value. Yet many people never begin. They wait for perfect conditions. They say, when I have more time, when I have more money, when the kids are older. But here's the truth. There will never be a perfect time. You must start where you are, with what you have. I began with nothing. No money, no connections, no advantages. What I did have was a burning desire to improve and a willingness to work. That was enough. Everything else followed. You don't need more resources. You need more resourcefulness. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You don't need more opportunities. You need more preparation. The real question isn't can I? The real question is will I? Will you force yourself to work hard when no one is watching? Will you invest in yourself even when it's inconvenient? Will you persist when results are slow to appear? Your answers will shape your future far more than any external circumstance ever could. In today's world, competition is fierce. The marketplace doesn't reward average. There's plenty of that already. It rewards excellence, uniqueness, and exceptional value. To succeed, you must stand out. And standing out requires hard work. It demands skills others don't have, services others won't provide, and solutions others can't deliver. People often complain about competition, calling it unfair. But competition isn't the problem, it's reality. You either rise to meet it or get crushed by it. The irony is that the very things people avoid, hard work, persistence, continual learning, are the very things that would set them apart if only they embraced them. Now let's talk about mindset. Your mindset, your beliefs, attitudes, and expectations shapes your actions more than anything else. If you believe success is possible for you, you'll act differently than if you see it as out of reach. If you believe hard work pays off, you'll approach it with purpose instead of viewing it as punishment. I found that prosperous people share key mindset traits. First, they take full responsibility for their lives. They don't blame circumstances, other people, or the system for their results. They know they can't control everything that happens, but they can control how they respond. Second, they focus on contribution rather than acquisition. They ask, how can I provide more value? Instead of, how can I get more stuff? They understand that income follows value, not the other way around. Third, they see problems as opportunities. When obstacles appear, they don't retreat, they get resourceful. Every problem solved is value created. Fourth, they invest in themselves continuously, knowing that earning ability is directly tied to learning ability. They never stop growing, never stop improving. Developing this mindset isn't easy. It requires effort, challenging old beliefs, and replacing them with empowering ones. But the payoff is enormous. Now let's talk about time, the most precious resource we have. Everyone gets the same 24 hours a day, 168 hours a week. The difference in results comes from how we use those hours. Poor people spend their time, rich people invest it. Poor people let it slip away on low-value activities, while rich people guard their time and direct it toward high-value work. One of the most important skills you can develop is distinguishing between activity and productivity. Activity is just doing things. Productivity is doing the right things. I recommend a simple exercise. For 1 week, track every hour you spend. Then ask yourself, is this the best use of my time? Is it moving me closer to my goals or further away? The answers may shock you. Most people waste hours each day on tasks that bring little or no value. Mindless scrolling on social media, endless TV watching, or unproductive conversations. Imagine reclaiming just 2 of those wasted hours each day. Imagine taking those wasted hours and investing them in high-value activities, learning a new skill, building a side business, or strengthening key relationships. Over months and years, the compound effect would be staggering. Now let's talk about association. Who you spend time with matters more than you realize. I've often said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That isn't just a catchy phrase, it's a profound truth. The people around you shape your thinking, your standards, and ultimately your actions. If you surround yourself with lazy, negative, small-minded people, they will drag you down. But if you're around hardworking, positive, ambitious people, they'll pull you up. This doesn't mean abandoning friends or family who may not be successful. It means intentionally seeking out those who inspire and challenge you. Find mentors. Join mastermind groups. Attend events where successful people gather. Remember, association works subtly. You absorb habits, attitudes, and ways of thinking almost without realizing it. So make sure what you're taking in is what you want to become. Now, let's shift to the journey of financial independence. Money isn't everything, but it impacts nearly everything. Money gives you options, freedom, the ability to help others, and security for your family. Building wealth isn't about greed. It's about creating value and being fairly compensated for that value. It's about being a good steward of your resources. The path to financial independence begins with simple principles. The first is to spend less than you earn. The first principle is simple: spend less than you earn. Yet most people ignore it, letting lifestyle inflation consume every raise and bonus. Discipline yourself to live below your means, not above them. Second, invest the difference. Make your money work for you. Learn about investing, compounding, and the difference between assets and liabilities. Most people spend their entire lives working for money, while the wealthy make money work for them. Third, increase your earning ability. Cutting expenses matters, but there's only so much you can cut. There's no limit, however, to how much you can earn if you focus on increasing your value to the marketplace. Fourth, protect what you build. Use legal structures, insurance, and diversification to guard against losses. Remember, it's not just what you make, it's what you keep. Wealth is built over time. It doesn't come from quick schemes or lucky breaks, but from applying sound principles consistently for decades. Force yourself to be patient. Force yourself to think long-term. The rewards are worth it. And as we talk about success, let's not forget its highest purpose: contribution. True wealth is not measured only in dollars, but in impact. How many lives have you touched? How many problems have you solved? How much better is the world because you were here? The most fulfilled people I've known use their success as a platform for service. They understand we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. And you don't need to wait until you're wealthy to contribute. Start where you are. Volunteer your time. Share your knowledge. Give encouragement. Small acts of service, repeated consistently, create ripples that reach farther than you can see. Here's the fascinating part. Contribution accelerates success. When you focus on adding value to others, your own life improves. Help people get what they want, and you'll discover you often get what you want in return. It's one of life's beautiful paradoxes. Now, let's talk about persistence. Persistence is the iron quality. The true quality of success is persistence. The ability to keep moving forward when the novelty wears off, when excitement fades, and when motivation disappears. Most people quit too soon. They start with energy, but give up at the first challenge. They fail to see that the darkest hour often comes right before the dawn. Failure isn't final unless you stop trying. After decades of studying successful people, I've learned their journeys were rarely smooth. They faced setbacks, rejections, and sometimes spectacular failures. What set them apart wasn't the absence of obstacles, but their response to them. Persistence doesn't mean stubbornly repeating the same thing. It means holding on to your goal while staying flexible with your approach. If one method fails, try another. If one door closes, find the next. If one venture collapses, learn from it and begin again. The strength of persistence comes from having a strong enough why. When your reasons are powerful, you'll always find a way. When your vision of the future outweighs comfort in the present, you'll push through any difficulty. Now let's talk about daily habits, the discipline that shapes lasting success. It's not built on grand gestures, but on small, consistent actions repeated day after day. Your habits determine your life more than you realize. Successful people don't have unique abilities. They have unique habits. They've trained themselves to do what unsuccessful people refuse to do. The key is to focus on habits that deliver compound returns. Rising early gives you quiet, productive hours while the world sleeps. Reading expands your knowledge and perspective. Exercise builds the energy that fuels everything else. Planning keeps your focus on priorities instead of distractions. Tracking your progress keeps you accountable and motivated. These habits may not seem exciting or glamorous, but their cumulative effect is extraordinary. Force yourself to adopt them, and they will create the foundation for your future success. In time, these disciplines will force success upon you. Now, let's talk about decisions. The quality of your life is shaped by the quality of your decisions. And the most important decision you'll ever make is to be a person of action, not just someone who knows what to do, but someone who does it. Many people suffer from analysis paralysis. They gather endless information but never take the first step. They wait for perfect certainty before moving forward. But certainty is an illusion. The most successful people aren't those with perfect knowledge. They're the ones who make the best decisions with what they have and then act. I've found that even a wrong decision is often better than no decision at all. Mistakes can be corrected. Action creates momentum. Indecision leads nowhere. Force yourself to be decisive. Force yourself to commit. Force yourself to act, even when fear is present. This one discipline alone can dramatically transform your results. As we close, let me leave you with this truth. Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. Too many people live in the trap of someday. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll get in shape. Someday I'll repair that relationship. But someday is not a day of the week. Unless you take action today, someday will never come. The good news is, it's never too late to begin. No matter your age, your background, your past failures, or your current circumstances, you can start building a better future right now with the very next decision you make. Force yourself to take that first step. Force yourself to keep going when it gets hard. Force yourself to persist until you succeed. The life you build through discipline will be worth every ounce of effort required. In closing, remember this: life offers no guarantees. Success isn't promised to anyone. What life does offer is opportunity. The opportunity to become more, to contribute more, to achieve more than you ever imagined. The choice is yours. Will you force yourself to work hard? Will you push past comfort into growth? Will you invest in yourself while others waste their resources? Will you persist when others quit? These aren't just questions. Your answers, shown through your actions, will determine the quality of your life far more than any circumstance ever could. I believe in you. I believe in your potential. I believe there is greatness within you waiting to be expressed. But belief alone is not enough. Action is required, disciplined, consistent action over time. So force yourself to work hard, not just for the sake of work, but for the person you will become through it. Force yourself to grow, to learn, to contribute, to persist. The rewards, both financial and personal, will exceed your greatest expectations. Thank you for your time and attention. I wish you health, happiness, and success. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Mindset Daily.